This is The Week on WURD, a podcast featuring a roundup of the most interesting, informative, and entertaining interviews from WURD Radio. You can listen to WURD Radio anytime, anywhere. Go to WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app. Give us a play and download it today. In this episode, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro joined Wake Up with WURD with Solomon Jones to discuss his delayed budget proposal amid a divided legislature. And Philly-born R&B and neo-soul icon Musiq Soulchild stopped by the Midday Break Room to reflect on his artistic journey, his extensive music catalog, and why supporting Black-owned media like WURD matters now more than ever. But first, actress, comedian, author, and host of the Daytime Emmy-nominated talk show, Sherri Shepherd, joined the Midday Break Room with Tiffany Bacon to discuss her career journey, her struggles in the entertainment industry, and her latest role in the Tyler Perry film, Straw. My next guest began her career performing stand-up comedy while working as a legal secretary, because, honey, when you're in show business, you got to keep your day job until what you're trying to do works. And it has been working for her for quite some time. She has her own talk show, and she has a co-starring role in the latest film from Tyler Perry, Straw. I welcome to the show for the first time, Miss Sherri Shepherd. Hey, Sherri, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm breathing on schedule, sis.
Love it. Love it.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I greatly appreciate it. I want to start at the beginning. Like in your bio, it said you started while working as a legal secretary. Talk about the level of determination you had to have to say, yep, I'm doing this thing, but I am pursuing this life as a comedian and then eventually as an actor.
Well, it's funny because when I was a legal secretary, I had taken Spanish in junior high, middle school, high school, and immersive Spanish in college. I was saving my money to go to Spain because I was like, there's nothing else to do and it'd be fun I'm young. Let me just go to Spain for a few years. And the legal secretaries and I was always trying to get them to do fun stuff. And I said, let's go to this comedy club because when I'm on the bus, I always pass this comedy club called the Comedy Store. Mm-hmm. So let's go, let's live. Legal secretaries, we go to bed at 8 o'clock. We don't do nothing. So I got 8 of them together. We went to Sizzlers, got all you can eat shrimp.
Sizzlers, you took it back.
Cheesy toast. And then we went to the Comedy Store and I saw all the comics' names above the wall on the main room. And we were there and I'm looking at all the comics and I'm looking at everybody laugh at Eddie Griffin and Andrew Dice Clay. And this is what shows me the power of death and life is in the tongue. Mm. A woman turned towards me because Andrew Dice Clay was making all the women mad at this time. That's when he's doing all this nasty stuff against women. And the women were mad at him. And this woman turned around, this white lady, and she goes, oh my God, you're funny. You can get on stage. You've been making us laugh in the audience for the longest. Like, you need to do what he's doing and you'll get us to laugh. Mm. And all night, that's all I thought about was what she said. And I asked all my girlfriends, do you think I could do that? And 7 of them said, no, you're making $40,000 a year. You got a good pension. We got the Christmas club playing. It's going to take you 10 years to make it. You got bad feet. Stay a legal secretary. You can advance to be a paralegal. Mm. And one girlfriend, Danetta, said, Sherri, if you don't try it, you'll never know. And she'll be coming to my star ceremony when I get my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I'm flying her out.
Yes. Now, okay, you said so many things in just that story alone. The importance of not listening to everybody.
Right. You can't tell everybody your dreams because everybody's not happy for you. A lot of people want you. They're great when you're staying in the same place, and they always say, oh, you changed. Well, it's not that I changed. It's that you weren't able to adjust to where I'm at. So everybody can't go on the journey with you. Yeah. And all the ladies were happy once I started. Once I made the commitment, they all lined up. They helped me get into comedy classes. When I went to jail, they paid for me. They leaned in, and they all came to visit me on my talk show and cried when they got to see my dressing room and they got to see me in action, they were all there. So, but sometimes you have to keep your dream to yourself because it's so tender and everybody can't, hold that in their hand, that tenderness. And you have to find the closest ones because they say, show me the 4 people that you hang with and I'll show you who you are. So
that's real.
That's pretty powerful to me.
That's extremely powerful. And
Yes.
and in this journey, like from that moment, from the time that your friend was like, girl, just try it. You never know unless you try.
Yeah.
At what point in your journey did you stop and say, you know what? I'm letting everything go. I am laser focused on this. And like, tell us that story. And was there a moment, even in that, where you weren't sure?
Yeah, I think when I had taken my girlfriend's pay for my comedy classes because my check was always getting garnished. I'd gone to jail for 8 days, because my registration was expired on my car for 2 years. I had all these traffic warrants. And I was still doing the legal secretary thing, but I was doing the clubs at nighttime and being a legal secretary in the daytime. Sometimes I forgot I was wearing stuff that I had worn to the club. Very different. Human resources would call me in and go, you can't wear a mini skirt and thigh-high boots, Sherri. Go and change your clothes. My boss, Sandy, who came to my talk show and said she knew I was going to make it because I was weird as heck. But I think it's when I decided to step out on faith and quit my job as a legal secretary and go full-fledged stand-up comic and actress. And somebody said to me, because I was so scared, and they said, but Sherri, if it was all about stability, you wouldn't need to have faith. And that's my mantra. If it's all about stability, then what do you need faith for? And I stepped out. I quit my job. Everybody says, Sherri, you just about gonna get this money from the Christmas club and the pension. And I stepped out on faith. And I think maybe 20 days later, I booked Everybody Loves Raymond. And I started doing stand-up. Now, it wasn't all roses and everything. I got evicted from that apartment. I was staying on people's couches, riding the bus at all hours of the night just to sleep. I booked another job. Had to stay with my girlfriend in the jungle in LA where they filmed Training Day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was rough. It was rough, but it was because of choices that I had made where I had to get better with my money, and going to jail had to not be normalized with me. But that was when I said, I'm not going to have a plan B. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this work because I love making people laugh. At the time, my mother was sick with diabetes and she passed away when I was, 23, I think, 22, when she was 41 years old. So I was taking care of her at the same time. But that was my outlet, stand-up comedy. And to be able to make people laugh when I was dealing with family members on drugs and my mom dying, that was my place, my safe place. And even to this day, I love making people laugh. It helps me when I'm going through stuff. So I think I answered that question.
You did. No, you did. And I love people's origin stories because I think for a lot of folks, if you're going through something and you have a dream and your dream is like in the process of dying, it's good to hear someone that you look up to, that you see all over, like you're all over. Everybody knows who you are. To see someone like yourself have gone through those moments and still come out on top, and all using faith as the foundation.
I don't mean to interrupt you. It just takes me back. And I'm not name dropping. It's just because we've been best friends for over 30 years. So I'm with Niecy Nash last night and we went roller skating because that's what we love to do. And we're roller skating, and we were sitting there in the car going back home and we just were hugging each other like little girls. And I said, Niecy, we've been through the fire. Like we've been through the fire. And she said, friend, I know. And I said, and here we are at a roller rink. We got 3 security guards. We're driving back. Like with the things that we used to talk about when we had nothing, when you were living in your mama's back room and I was on people's couches, but we had each other and we would talk about this. Same thing with Kim Whitley, same thing. We lived across from each other. She had no I had no furniture. She didn't have any food. And it's like, I said, we went through this together and look at us. it was the moment we just held each other. And I was so emotional of everything that I have been through. And I tell people, look at me. I'm 58 years old. Hollywood is not kind to women my age. They write us off. They don't want to give us to play Denzel's wife. They want to give it to a woman in her 40s. You know, I play women in my 40s. So it is for God to bless me in this season of my life. I'm so grateful. And I want people to look at me, other women who feel like they're not seen or their dreams haven't come to pass. There's one that knows what your dreams are. And maybe you're not ready yet. Like with me, if he had given the talk show to me in 20, if he'd have given the movie Straw to me, that is globally #1 and still in the top 10 to me in my 20s, it would have been a crash and burn so bad. I wasn't, it just would have been, the FBI would have been like, is there a video that Sherri is not in with baby oil dripping down her daggone back? Can we find another video with another unnamed celebrity? She walking around with a placard with her name on it. Oh my God, there goes Sherri Shepherd again. So it would not have been, he wouldn't have been able to use me. Not at all.
I love that. I absolutely love it. And it's an awesome dovetail into your role in Straw. For those who haven't seen it, I don't want to do spoilers, but there are some themes that are covered in the film that align with what you're talking about. So we're going to leave a cliffhanger right here. If you can hold on, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to know how the role in the movie and the themes of the movie affected you as not just an actor, but as a person after you have shared your struggle story. Were there moments where you were close to that straw or not? So put a pin in that. We're going to take a break. Please continue to watch. Don't scroll away. Don't turn that dial. We'll be right back middays on WURD right after this. Welcome back. It's Middays on WURD. My very special guest is, I'm Tiffany Bacon, by the way, in case you don't know. My very special guest is actress and comedian and author, Sherri Shepherd. I know we only have a little bit of time with you because you got to run. Just a really quick, I asked you a question about your starring in Straw. Yeah. Lots of messages about managing stress. Yeah, talk about how that role had affected you as a person and as an actor.
I mean, I was just really drawn to the script. Well, first of all, when Tyler Perry calls you and says, I wrote a part for you, can you do it? You say yes. Then he says, well, Taraji just signed on and Tiana's about to sign on the dotted line. It's like, that's just gold. And to be able to do a drama, because so many people know me for doing comedy, it's been a fight to be, get in the room to do a dramatic film. So that right there. And then I read the script, being a single mom, I am a single mother. I had to fight for custody of my son. I paid child support. I've paid, it's just like, I've been through the ringer. I've talked about being evicted, being, going to jail, being on people's couches. But I think for me, by far, when you say, Sherri, what was the straw for you? It probably was going through my divorces where, you just feel like every time you go into court is something. And I was by myself going to court. I didn't have, a bunch of people with me. It was always me by myself with scriptures written on index cards. And always I felt like David battling the lions. So that was just like, and it was rough because I just was trying to get custody of my child. And, my divorces were very public. And at one point, I remember telling Niecy, because I was doing the show Soul Man with her, they gave me that job, Cedric. And Niecy fought for me because I just needed the money. Like, I've been let go from The View. I was going through a very expensive divorce. And I just didn't have the money to pay the bills that were coming in for a son that had special needs. Being out there in New York, it was rough. People don't know that. It's a lot going on behind people's smiles. And I wasn't getting work. And so Niecy and Cedric hired me because I needed the money. So I would fly out there every couple days, they would call me and say, Jeffrey is crying. He's not settling down. And I just fell on the floor and started crying. And Niecy had to just hold me. And it was just like I said to her, mentally, I don't know if I can do this. I have to keep making people laugh. And I'm going through it on the inside. And I was going through just a bunch with the second husband. It seemed like everybody in the world hated me because it was child custody issues with his son. Everybody hated me because I couldn't tell the story because God said, be quiet. That's my battle. So I couldn't really go what was going on. And I just felt like that was the last straw. If I didn't have my friends, I think I would have had a nervous breakdown.
I love
So reading the script, going back to that, Welcome to 58, trying to remember where I didn't get. So reading the script, I saw that character, Janiyah, but I also saw my character, Nicole, and Tiana's character. 3 women were fighting to be seen. Tiana's character was fighting to be seen, but men kept taking over and pulling rank on her. Nicole was fighting to be seen because she just wanted to make a difference in the lives of women that came to that bank. And Janiyah, of course, you know her story. But they all came together because they needed Janiyah to win. Mm-hmm. So the sisterhood of it all, the friendship of it all, the motherhood of it all, I was like, Tyler, thank you. You know.
And I thank you for sharing your gift with us. And you'll be sharing that gift in Philadelphia on July 11th. Tell folks a little bit more.
Now, this is not going to be serious. I'm at the Rivers Casino July 11th because the thing that I do, that I am a stand-up comic. And I am going to make you laugh where you're not going to be stressed. I promise I will make you laugh. That is my assignment and what I love to do. And it's going to be at the Rivers Casino it's Friday, July 11th. And I want you to come out. I'm going to be the one with the long wig and the big old smile. I'm going to have a side tooth in. Hormones. I'm going to have that side tooth in.
Come on now.
So I can laugh. I should have been laughing like this. I forgot to put it in. And I'll be right there going, hey. So come on out and join me. I'm so excited to come to Philly.
Yes, and we are so excited to have you. I know you got to run. Sherri Shepherd, thank you for being you, for sharing your gift, and for shining your light always.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
You're listening to The Week on WURD. Represent your favorite station in style. Look for Afrocentric tees, hoodies, tumblers, notebooks, mugs, and more. Just click the shop tab at WURDradio.com. Show the world that you're all about Black Talk Media.
You gotta look good.
This is The Week on WURD, a podcast highlighting the top conversations on WURD Radio. Make sure you look for and follow WURD Radio on social media. Up next, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro joined Wake Up With WURD with Solomon Jones.
Joining us now, Governor Josh Shapiro, governor of the state of Pennsylvania. Governor Shapiro, good morning.
Good morning, Solomon.
How are you?
Great to be back with you.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. And there's a whole lot going on. So, of course, you put forth your budget proposal. The budget still has not been passed out of the legislature. What's going on with our budget?
Yeah, look, we're working through it. About 145 days ago, I presented my budget to the legislature. And I think it's important to note for your listeners, we're one of the only states in the entire country with what's called a divided legislature. So I got a House of Representatives led by Joanna McClinton, a great Philadelphian, and the Democrats. And I've got a Senate led by Republicans. So name of the game on these things is to find ways to bring the House and the Senate together to compromise around the proposal I put forward. Mm-hmm. And we're in the process of doing that. Look, I've got a number of important priorities, from making sure we fully fund mass transit, including SEPTA, to making sure we continue our commitment to public education. There's a real workforce budget focusing on investing in job creation and economic growth, continuing the progress we've made on public safety, where we're having real positive results. So I want to continue that important work, and we're working through the process now, finding that common ground between Democrats and Republicans. Here's what I'll tell you, Solomon. It's not easy, but what we have shown in Pennsylvania, unlike D.C., where it's total chaos all the time, is that we can actually work together. We can find common ground. And, the name of the game is to give a little bit to get a whole lot for Pennsylvania. So I'm confident we'll get there. We had some really good constructive meetings in just the last few hours, and we're going to keep at it.
Okay. So The deadline, though, is the 30th, right?
Yeah, and we're going to work through that. I think the last couple of years, we were a few days after that. It's going to be fine. We're going to get it done, and we're going to make real good continued progress for Pennsylvania.
All right. So one of the things that is really troubling to a lot of people in Philadelphia and to the listeners here at WRD is what's going on with SEPTA. They're facing a $213 million deficit. Their board set to vote today on a budget for the next fiscal year. Does the state have the money to fund SEPTA at the level that it needs to? And why is SEPTA always seemingly at a deficit?
Yeah. Solomon, if I can, let me sort of take a step back to set the table on this and then explain where I think we can go. And if you feel like I didn't answer the question deep enough, feel free to come back at me on this. First, we're going to focus our answer on SEPTA, but I think it's really important to note mass transit serves all 67 counties in Pennsylvania, rural counties as well as urban counties. So this is a statewide problem. And I have tried over the last 2 years to solve it by putting money in my budget in order to help our mass transit agencies. So this is something that has been important to me. I think it is critically important to help that mom who rides a bus be able to get to her job, to her kid's medical appointment or her kid's game, whatever it is. I think that's just as important as the mom in rural Pennsylvania who has to drive over a rural bridge to get her kid to a game. And we shouldn't distinguish between the two. We should invest in both. So that's where I begin this conversation. Mass transit's important. It affects everybody. Now, let me dive a little deeper into SEPTA because that's what you asked. And obviously, your listeners are riding SEPTA, not one of these other agencies. When SEPTA first came to me, when I got elected governor, and said they had challenges, honestly, Solomon, I said back to them, well, you guys got a lot of work to do before you should come with a handout. You got to make your system safer. You got to make your system more reliable. You got to make your system cleaner. And you've got to invest in your system. And you got to get local governments around Philly and the suburban counties to invest more. Solomon, fast forward 2 years, they've done all that. I applaud SEPTA for the work that they've done. They've made it cleaner. They've made it safer. They've made it more reliable. The locals have invested more. And now it is our responsibility at the state to step up and do more of our share. If you look across the country, our state share of investing in mass transit per capita is lower than a number of other states. So we've got to boost our share up. I tried to get it done last year. And when the legislature couldn't come together and find common ground, I did what's called a flex. I basically flexed or took money that was scheduled many years from now to go into a road or bridge project and moved that to SEPTA as a lifeline for 1 year to basically get us to this month of this year and allow SEPTA to stay afloat. That worked. But now we've got to come together and fund SEPTA and fund all the other mass transit agencies across this Commonwealth. With the amount of money that I proposed in my budget for mass transit agencies, we will be able to stave off any cuts of lines, rising costs, and still allow SEPTA to be able to, continue the important work they do in the other mass transit agencies as well. So we got to get my budget proposal passed. I'm proud of the House of Representatives. They've now passed it. If memory serves me correct, Solomon, I think they passed it 4 different times, 3 or 4 different times. And now the Senate needs to act. The ball is in their court. And I believe this is an area we will be able to find common ground on.
So the other part of my question as a follow-up is why is SEPTA always broke? I mean, it just feels like that. I've been living in Philadelphia all my life. It seems to be perpetual problems with SEPTA, especially in recent years. Do we need to find a new funding stream for SEPTA?
Well, look, I think it's a number of things. One, the state has to do its fair share. That's what I'm fighting to do as your governor, is to invest in mass transit because I believe it's important. 2, the local municipalities that rely on SEPTA. So now we're talking Philly, Bucks, Montgomery, Delaware, Chester, those communities. I think they have to step up and do more, and they've begun to do so. And I appreciate the local leadership there. And then 3, SEPTA had to get its house in order. They are doing that now. So I think all of those issues contributed to the fact that for a long time, there was that sort of death spiral or whatever they call it that you recall growing up here, sort of wondering, is SEPTA going to make it through it? Yeah. I think they're getting their house in order now. And the state is one piece of helping them do that. And that's why I'm working so hard to make sure they get their funding.
All right. We're talking with Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro around a number of issues. One of the issues, of course, that is looming large over all of us is the change of administration at the federal level. The Trump administration now in place. They are doing a number of things that I think affect us as a state, including cutting funding in a number of different areas that are key to the survival of people here in Philadelphia and across Pennsylvania. What can the state do to push back against these funding cuts and other policies that the Trump administration is putting in place?
Yeah, look, Solomon, I think I live by 3 letters, GSD. We focus on getting stuff done every day. That's my job as governor, whether it's mass transit, as you and I just talked about, or education, safety, creating jobs. I just landed the largest private sector investment in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Amazon's going to be investing $20 billion in our Commonwealth. And in your listening area, that includes a new data center in Bucks County. So we're talking massive investments and real wins on economic development. So my focus is on getting stuff done. But I've made it very clear from the day after the election that I'm ready to work with anybody, including the president, if they're focused on delivering for Pennsylvania. But I've also said, if they do anything to mess with a Pennsylvanian, they do anything to hurt a Pennsylvanian, they're going to have to go through me. And I will stand up for my Commonwealth against the president or anyone else. We have seen this president illegally cut billions of dollars of funding from Pennsylvania, from our veterans, from our school kids, from our farmers, just to name a few, from our food banks, including Share in Philadelphia and others. I have taken the president to court. I have filed a lawsuit on behalf of Pennsylvanians multiple times when the president's illegally taken away our funding. And guess what, Solomon? I've won every single time and restored the funding to our Commonwealth. I sued the president just yesterday or 2 days ago over another funding matter where we showed that the underlying justification that they give that a program that invests in Pennsylvanians is, quote, no longer to effectuate agency priorities. That's their language, not mine. I said that's patently illegal. You don't need to be a lawyer, Solomon, to know a deal's a deal. You enter into a funding contract with Pennsylvania, well, you damn well better make good on that. And so I'm going to continue to stand up to protect the interests of Pennsylvanians, to get what is owed to us. Every single person listening right now pays taxes, not just to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, but to the federal government, and we deserve our fair share. So I've got a good track record of success standing up to this president. I will not be afraid to do so again and again and again as needed. And as I said, where he wants to work with us to do something that helps Pennsylvania, I'll do that, but I won't be afraid to stand up to him.
So my audience, of course, is Black Talk Radio. So I'm always concerned about Black businesses, Black individuals here in the city of Philadelphia, especially. And in Philadelphia, we got the 250th anniversary of the country is going to be centered right here in Philadelphia. What can the state do to make sure that Black Philadelphians benefit as, billions and billions of dollars are going to be pouring into our city? Black individuals, Black businesses, Black entrepreneurs. How does the state make sure that happens?
Really, really important. So first, just table setter, USA 250th anniversary of this great nation, started in Philadelphia. This is the birthplace of our democracy. And so we'll be having a year-long celebration, including, by the way, some huge events, things like the MLB All-Star Game. If you're into golf, there's going to be a major golf tournament. We're going to have all kinds of huge stuff happening in our region, right? We're also, FIFA World Cup too. We're also going to be having community gatherings in communities all across Pennsylvania, including in Philadelphia. And as part of this, I'm investing at the state level, we're investing at the state level, tens of millions of dollars to support these events. I have dispatched the woman who leads this initiative for us to neighborhoods across Pennsylvania to work with our small businesses to make sure they're getting in on the action, that they're the food vendors at this event, that they're, I'm just giving you, some random examples here. They're the ones printing the T-shirts and the signs. They're the ones who are setting up for the event and taking it down. My point is we want to involve them in every aspect of what we do here. And so we're reaching out to our communities to make sure that they are engaged, that they are involved in it. And I'll just tell you more broadly, we have increased our contracting on my watch over the last 2 years of state contracts that have gone to Black-owned businesses and minority-owned businesses. By the way, not by putting some artificial quote on there, but by actually working with the community to let them know about RFPs that are going up, to simplify the application process, to let them know we actually do want them to compete for this work, because I think that competition is good for all Pennsylvanians. And as a result, we've seen our contracting with Black-owned businesses on my watch increase. Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis has done a great job leading that effort for us, and you will see a continued effort in that space for USA 250.
All right. So, Governor Shapiro, before you go, I got 2 quick questions for you. VJ Edgecombe to the Sixers, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Big thumbs up. Love it. I was really down on the idea that they were going to pick Ace Bailey. I love VJ. I think he's a strong, tough guard. He can jump out of the building. And I think we've got something that if you look at the teams winning right now, whether it's obviously OKC or Indiana before that brutal injury or Cleveland, we are young now. We are fast. We got 5 or 6 3-and-D guys. And if Joel is healthy and you match him up with them, especially with the way the East has been decimated with injuries, Milwaukee, Boston, and Indiana, all their top players are out for next season or good parts of next season. I think the sky's the limit for the Sixers. I'm really excited about this pick and really excited about the future.
All right. So we'll see what happens with that. And of course, we'll also see what happens in 2028. Governor, your name being bandied about as one of the people who could run for president on the Democratic side. Where are you with that decision?
Hey, look, I love what I do, man. I'm going to keep doing what I do. Going to keep fighting for the good people of Pennsylvania. That's what I'm focused on. Okay. I hear that. I appreciate it. I appreciate when I walk down the streets in Philly and elsewhere, people grab me and talk about that. Appreciate the work that I'm doing for them. That's humbling. But I got to stay focused on the task in hand, the task I took an oath to do, and that is to represent these great 13 million people in Pennsylvania.
All right. That is Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. Governor Shapiro, thanks for joining us on WURD.
This is the Week on WURD.
Why is WURD important to the community?
Thank you for asking.
Let me count the ways.
And it's one of the most important radio stations in the country.
WURD has always been a platform for Black people in Philadelphia.
We're one of the only Black-owned talk radio stations in the country. We're one of 4 in the nation.
A lot of what's going on in the world today, I think, is a result of people feeling like they don't have a voice.
Without WURD, we wouldn't have such educated, loving, caring people of color who really are interested in what's going on in neighborhoods around the city.
WURD creates such a sense of community in the Black community here in Philadelphia.
It amplifies the voices that are mostly marginalized.
It allows you to speak and be heard and to create your own narrative, your own story.
It's a place where we can share our thoughts, our ideas, our dreams.
You control who and what you say about yourself.
Every community needs a hub.
We are giving voice to the community, and without the community, there will be no WURD. We are one and the same, and it is not a game. WURD.
You're listening to the Week on WURD podcast. To learn more about our programming, visit WURDradio.com. Our last conversation for this episode features Musiq Soulchild, who stopped by the Midday Break Room with Tiffany Bacon. Welcome back. This is the Middays at WURD. Oh, I am so happy to have this very special young man joining me right now. We go back like Cracker Jack in a big box. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. Which you are hearing underneath is the single, October 31st, from his Victims and Villains Part 2 LP, Philadelphia's own Musiq Soulchild. Hey, Musiq.
You can hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes,
okay,
sir.
Cool. All right.
How you been?
I've been good. I was good to see you. I ain't seen you in mad long, so it's really good to see you.
Yes, indeed. It's been way too long. And as I mentioned just in the intro, we go back like Cracker Jack in the beginnings of your journey in this music career. That is when we met. And this has been quite a journey for you. Yeah, to say the least. It still blows me away the fact that I'm still around professionally. I'm still able to put out content that people seem to still enjoy and want to subscribe to. So thank you. That's really the only reason why I'm still able to stay in the game in so many words. I don't take that as no small thing. So it's an honor to still be here to even talk to you about putting out new music and performing for a huge audience of people. So I'm honored. Yeah, and Philly loves you. I hope you know that, Musiq. I know. You know Philly loves you. Oh no, Philly lets me know every time, and I receive it. And I receive it, and I appreciate it every single time. So yeah, I love it. And you said you're happy and lucky to still be in the game, and we all know the game has changed so much in these years. Look, I want to get into that in a little bit, but I'd like to start. Do you really know? No, we can. This show is about being real. It's also about edutainment. It's about feeling good, but feeling this game is something, bro. This industry is man, it's very, very this entertainment system we play in, man. You just got to be grateful. So I just choose to be grateful. Amen. I'm going to put a pin in there. We're going to circle back if we can. We'll circle back. I'd like to start at the beginning. I did a segment earlier today called Back in the Day. So I'm going to hold up an object that represents your beginnings. I want to see if you recognize it, and we're going to talk about it. Okay. Here's the Back in the Day object for you. Do you recognize this? For those who are listening and can't hear him laughing, you're a chuckler. It's I'm chuckling. It's a music note, and it has. I guess it was an invitation to an album release party. Yes, it was. Let me read this for you. Okay, we're going back in the Wayback Machine for sure. This was an invitation to your album release party for your first album, I Just Want to Sing. The date of the event was Tuesday, November 14th at Gasoline at the corner of 8th and Callow Hill. Yeah, what year was that? I'm guessing it was 2000. 2000. Yeah, 2000. 20. That's how long this has been going on. So yeah. 25 years. First of all, let's just settle in on that fact. All right. Yeah, that's no small thing, as I said earlier. So, and sometimes I forget because I'm still in work mode, that it has been 25 years. In one way it went by so fast. In another way, it just keeps going. That's not what I meant to say. I meant to say that in some ways it feels like it went too fast, but in other ways it seemed like it's been 50 years, because of all the complex layered things that has happened, and all the experiences and all the engagements that I've had with people and situations, if you allow it to, it'll aid you, so I just choose to, leave with the game and not the pain. You know what I'm saying? So I try to, have it be productive, have those moments be as productive as possible. Because I could sit and, be upset about a lot of things and want to play get back and, set somebody straight and tell them what for and give them, the business. But that's kind of a waste, Was it okay? No. Did I like it? No. But I
learned from it. I learned a lot from it. And I think that is what helped me endure these 25 years in this entertainment system. Yeah.
Musiq, I want to be real with you. I want to connect on a couple of things. The first thing I want to connect on, yesterday, we had an awesome conversation on the show about workplace burnout, which turned into life burnout, right? And we had a therapist on. She was fantastic and really resonating with a lot of people. And just listening to you tell just a hint of your 25-year journey, I get the sense that there's a little bit of recovery on burnout on your part. Would you say that that is the case? And if so, how are you managing that?
Well, I think the burnout really hit me around 2020, which I think it hit a lot of people. The burnout sort of came about through me not being able to work as much and frequently and consistently as I was accustomed to. And that's when I realized that I was actually sort of, for lack of a better word, I was hiding behind my work because I had a lot of stuff that was being used to fuel me through it, but it wasn't productive fuel. It was toxic fuel, really. But I didn't know how to process all of that. So when I was busy, I didn't have to deal with it, but it was dealing with me, and I didn't realize that I was being burnt at both ends. One end, I was burning myself because I was working to try to keep away from having to deal with the stuff. But then on the other side, the stuff was burning me out because, it just takes, when you don't manage it, when you don't acknowledge it, when you try to ignore it, when you try to overcompensate for it, it burns you out. When you have all of your accomplishments and the avatar you present to people and, how you posture and perform, to get a certain result and reaction out of people to make yourself feel better than you otherwise would if you were just by yourself, and it's not to diminish or invalidate anyone's accomplishments. I'm just speaking on myself and my journey and what I did and what happened for me, how it happened for me. Around, 2020 is when everything slowed down and I couldn't run outside and I couldn't get away from the bad vibes. I had to sit in it. I had to work through it. I had to process it. And a lot of it I had to do without, if it was concerning, let's say, people, I had to do it without the correspondence of the other person because I didn't have access to that. I don't have a relationship with those people. I've chosen to distance myself and disassociate from those people. And I wasn't interested in reaching out for closure. It's like, nah, I'm set where I'm at. The way that I see things and my understanding at the time was if I do engage with that person, it's a higher potential that it's always going to do is bring me back to a space that I don't want to be in anymore. I may not have completely healed, but I've gotten out of it and I don't want to go back. So can I deal with this from outside the club? Like, I don't want to go in and go get this person to tell them to come out and we can talk about it. Like, no, if they're not interested in coming out to meet me halfway, if they're not, it's probably not on their mind, but what they do it shouldn't be my concern. Just like I'm pretty sure what I'm on is not their concern. So I had to sort of find ways to navigate through that, find the tools because I didn't have it. Before even that, understanding that it was something that I needed to do, that I didn't have the tools, that I needed to heal from it. Because you have a lot of people going through stuff that they don't even realize that they're going through it. They just think it's them and it's just life and it is what it is, which is why I believe people get defensive when you even attempt to assist them. They have this visceral reaction. You don't know my life. This is me, I'm saying, And it's like, bro, I'm not even trying to attack you. I'm trying to help because I recognize something in you that reminds me of myself. And as a concerned citizen, as an innocent bystander, I'm trying to help. So maybe I can offer up some game that can help you work through that. But depending on where that person is, will determine whether they'll be receptive to it or not. As for me, at that time, I just realized that I was doing too much for, outside reasons and not enough for myself. I was introduced to the fact that I was operating out of an extreme deficit. I didn't have, any kind of reciprocity coming back my way. It wasn't people loving me. There wasn't people pouring into me. Yes, I had supporters and fans, and I appreciate that. But I mean, in my immediate network of people, I didn't have that, and I'm going out in the world and I'm pouring out. And then I come back home and there's nothing coming back. So I had to think about that. And, and not only the fact that that was the case, because it's easy to say, well, nobody is giving back to me and I don't see nobody lifting a finger, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's important to also, sort of like inquire or investigate even. Well, what are you doing or what have you done to contribute to the circumstance? Because I can recall I got to a point I got super anti. I was, blocking everything. I don't want nobody in there. It's like, okay, you blocking out the chaos and the toxicity and all of that, but you're also making it hard to pull up on you too, for a person that want to show you love and be there for you. So I realized that I had to make a lot of adjustments in how I not only moved, but how I thought about people and things. But before all of that, mostly I had to change how I thought about myself. And that's when I realized that I wasn't just burnt out because I was working so much. I was burnt out because, and not even I was burnt out because I wasn't getting what I needed from people and, circumstances and things. I was really burnt out because I wasn't preserving what was mine. For me, I was giving people mine, but then getting upset when people won't give me theirs. And it's not how that works, So, the overflow, method, I didn't know how to employ that. So I started to figure out ways, to preserve that. And then, I guess sort of give it to myself. It's such a weird way to say that, but to give it to myself.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
How can you give yourself something you already have? It's like,
remind yourself that it's there.
I had to start utilizing what I already have and stop giving it away. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So, but it took time. Even, 5 years later, I've healed from a lot of things. I'm way better than I was. And I'm not just saying that because I'm just saying that looking at myself in the mirror and talking to myself. There are people in my immediate circle that constantly echo that, and sometimes they proactively say that to me and say, yo, man, like, I'm really proud of you, your journey and how much better you've become. And I'm like, word, what do you mean? Well, because I was there when and now you're like so different. And I don't know if you noticed that, but like, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, nah, I don't think you get it. Like, dude, like, you're so much better. Like, the conversations that we have, they're not so heavy anymore. You don't seem to be so triggered about things that you used to be, that you kind of just accept and, deal with way better than you used to. But I used to be, super irritable, and I wouldn't necessarily blow up on people because I don't believe in that. But I would just distance myself, from circumstances and situations a lot of the time. And, you can say that that's protecting you, but it's not productive, especially, when you're operating in a system that's based on forging relationships and getting to know people and trying to have build a Rolodex of people that you can sort of work with and take advantage of opportunities from. I'm never outside. I'm never in nobody's club or function unless I'm working or getting paid. I don't just pull up nowhere for no reason. So again, yeah, you kind of protecting yourself. You're protecting yourself out of a lot of opportunities as well. Everybody ain't out to get you. Most people don't even care about you or think about you in that way. I think, it's healing that self-image, that self-talk, that self-confidence that I had to work on that a lot because imposter syndrome is real. And sometimes you don't believe the you that you've become because of how you choose to perceive it for whatever reason. I know that got long-winded. I'm sorry.
No,
there's a lot to cover.
First and foremost, let me just say, this is not our first time having a conversation, and I am grateful that you feel comfortable enough to share that, because that's very personal. And it's also affirming to anyone, especially through the 2020 season, who felt exactly like that. I have shared on multiple platforms and multiple times how that was like the great leveler. Still feel awful at how many people died and how awful the situation was. But for those who were able to sit at home, you were forced to deal with yourself. Yeah. You were forced to deal with all the stuff you were running from because life was so busy. And in 2019, things were at a fever pitch and no one knew this was coming. But when you were sat down, as the old folks say, sit down before you get sat down. We were all sat down at that time. And many of us had to do the same thing, the processing of what is happening in my life. What am I feeling? What am I dealing with? How many things have I not dealt with at all? And that is so real. And it's awesome to hear you share that. You mentioned on your social media page, you have what's called the Half Crazy Challenge. I saw this on your Instagram. It's Black Music Month, and it's also Men's Mental Health Month. And you say that music has been your therapy, a safe space to feel, express, and heal. And you are doing this Half Crazy Challenge right now. You want to share a little bit about that?
Well, it's mainly just to bring awareness to the fact that we all have challenges that we don't speak on, because, we operate within a community that hasn't really been, a celebrated topic, maybe nowadays, which I'm eternally grateful for. However, you're talking about generations of, don't talk about that. Don't nobody want to hear that, you are all right, shake it off, man up, put your big girl panties on, whatever. And, I don't think, I'm very sure that it wasn't people weren't aware of it at the time, just to speak from a space of grace. People weren't aware of it at the time of how dismissive that was, how negligent that was, how people can feel, left out and looked over, and what that does to a person, especially when we're talking about your immediate network of people, your family, your relatives, your friends, these people that also may have been going through what they were going through, but because no one came to their aid in their time of need, how they needed, because it's not enough to just say, yeah, I feel you, or like, yeah, girl, no, I need you to sit down and I want to dialogue with you about this and flesh it out. I don't have all the answers, and I may not always sound like I make sense, or I might be triggered, I might turn up, but I don't mean nothing by it. This is just, where I'm at right now, and I need you to hold space for me. And not too many people, if any at all, through those generations, that I can say or have an understanding that it was in any large part, was doing that in a significant way. So therefore, because it wasn't happening for them, how could they do or be that for you? So there was just a lot of ping-ponging of abandonment, in a sense. So I think that we are living in a time of the generational results of children that were born into that, inherited that environment, and then just had to do their best within it. And it just seems like a lot of us now, from my generation on down, our generation on down have decided, okay, we're not just going to keep just letting this run, bro. Right. We got to do something, right. Right. And I think that it sort of happened partially intentionally, but partially involuntarily, simply because we're so connected more than we've ever been as human beings through social media. You know, social media has presented an opportunity for us to be so connected, you know, and it provides a lot of, you know, cool things. That's anything, you know, it provides a lot of cool things, but it also, you can't just take the fruit. You got to take, you know, you got to take the pits and the peels and the stuff too. It comes with it, you know, it comes with it. So, I don't think people were fully prepared for, you know, this, you know, wave of, you know, like we want to talk about outside. We're as outside as we've ever been as humanity. You know, we don't get to hide in our little cubby holes. It's like, no, everybody knows everything about everything. Everyone is going through some variation of what they see and witness on this social media platform, be it Instagram or YouTube or whatever your choice of social media may be. So it exposes a lot of things, you know, and you have some people that are being exposed to a lot of things that they weren't aware of, you know, and not just, you know, I don't want to use the word racially, not just within the community, but amongst all communities, because you hear it all the time. Oh, I didn't know that y'all went through that. I didn't know it was that serious. I didn't know that they don't talk about this in the history. Well, of course they don't, you know, they don't talk about this in the day to day. I don't hear about that. That's not real. You can't be so dismissive anymore because I'm giving you proof of me going through it, and there's other people, you know, hashtagging and connecting and resonating with it. So all of us can't just be pulling this same exact specific thing, very specific thing out of nowhere, you know? So now it creates a situation where, okay, so is we going to keep ignoring it or are we going to talk about it? You know? So then you had some people that would talk about it. A lot of it was in a self-serving way because it was just how people got on with it. But I think people got tired of that. And it's like, okay, if you're going to talk about it, let's not be selfish about it. Let's not, you know, just focus and localize it just on you. Let's make it a community thing and not just the Black community or the outer community. It's just about us as human beings. We all go through it. So this is just another way of just bringing awareness to something that we all go through, but within the lane that I operate within. Yeah.
And let me say this, because I do have to go to break, and I would love if you can come back so we can dive deeper into things. I would love for you to come back. Maybe tomorrow we can talk about it off mic and all like that when you can come back, because you have so much more to share.
I think it should be a thing where I should do it in person with you. So maybe we should schedule a time for me to pull up. Because I was just in, but I think that this is, you know, this type of dialogue deserves to be, it deserves to happen in person. You know, I mean, I don't mind doing this, you know, box thing.
In the box, yes.
But, however, I much prefer, you know, to do it in person.
Absolutely. So let's coordinate that offline, but I want to let people know they can love up on you this Sunday, because you're going to be at the Dell, part of the Wawa Welcome America Black Music Month celebration.
Shouts out to Wawa.
Shouts out to the Wawa, right? Exactly. That's happening on June 29th. I believe the show begins at 5 p.m. Also, performances include Kendra the Family Soul, Freeway, DJ Active, all going to be on the stage. So it's hosted by our girl, Laia St. Clair. So we want you to pull up. It's like a whole Philly,
man.
Oh, it's a back in the day for real.
I don't get a lot of those. So it's gonna be fresh. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I will be there. In music, I do this thing now called the Midday Mix. And today's Midday Mix, it's just 20 minutes for folks to get up, move around, enjoy some music, go in the Wayback Machine. And today's Midday Mix is dedicated to you. So it's a all music Midday Mix.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's an honor. I appreciate that.
Awesome. So listen, don't touch that dial. We're going to take a quick break. Come back with the Midday Mix, a music with a Q. Music Midday Mix right after this. And music, we're going to talk. Hold tight. Welcome back. It is time for the Midday Mix. My special guest host to at least intro the first song, because this mix is an all music with a Q mix. We are dedicating the next 20 minutes to our very own hometown brother, Musiq Soulchild. Yeah, we're starting at the beginning. First song in the mix is what? Let the folks know.
Just friends. Oh my God.
Doesn't it bring back many memories? Like
so many, too many
memories of this right here. This is when we all fell in love with music.
Yeah.
Let's go. Thanks, music.
Girl, I know this might seem strange, but let me know if I'm out of order or step into you this way. See, I've been watching you for a while, and I just gotta let you know that I'm really feeling your style. 'Cause I had to know your name and leave you with my number, and I hope that you would call me someday. If you want, you can give me yours too, and if you don't, well, I ain't mad at you. We can still be cool. I'm not trying to pressure you, just can't stop thinking about you. You ain't even really gotta be my girlfriend. I just wanna know your name, and maybe sometime we can hang out, just chill. Damn, I'm surprised that you called, 'cause the way you walked away, I thought I wasn't gonna see you no more. Since you didn't wanna give me your man, I thought that you were digging me and wasn't digging me. But anyway, what you doing tonight? I'll probably be with my peeps. If it's cool with you, maybe we'll swing by. You can just chill, or you can just chill with me, long as you're comfortable and you feel secure when you're with me. 'Cause I'm not trying to pressure you, just can't stop thinking about you. You ain't even really gotta be my girlfriend. Oh yeah, I just wanna know your name, and maybe sometime we can go, just chill. Baby, yeah. Maybe we can go see a movie, girl. And maybe we can hang out. Whatever you wanna do, just let me know. It's up to you. Pressure you, just can't stop thinking about you. You ain't even really gotta be my girlfriend. I just wanna know your name, and maybe sometime we can go, baby. Hang out, just chill. I'm not trying to pressure you, just can't stop thinking about you. You ain't even really gotta be my girlfriend. I just wanna know your name, and maybe sometime we can go, hang out, just chill. I'm not trying to
taking it back.
Hey.
I just want to sing Musiq Soulchild. We're in the mix, y'all. We're in the mix right now. Music is here. We are dedicating the Midday Mix to music, as in Musiq Soulchild. And the next joint is from your Victims and Villains first album.
Victims and Villains. Yeah, Victims and Villains. Shouts out to Hit Boy out of California. Awesome producer. And we're doing it again for Victims and Villains too. But this one is called Deja Vu. Hey.
Let's enjoy.
love like a shot of Henny I'm chasing. You would think it's white rice by the way we spoon. Shut the blinds lies and we sleep till noon. That our whole time might be leaving soon. But can't leave behind the smell of your perfume. Girl, it feels like deja vu. Will I have your love when I need it? Deja vu. From the morning light till the evening. You wouldn't mind it if I stayed up late. Girl, you make it hard to say goodbye like deja vu. I know you feel it. Don't say you're leaving. No, let's forget this. I'll take you all kind of places. You want to house get close. I think you're very off. She wanna ride like a wave for Capri. You be my passenger all between the sheets. All between the sheets. All between the sheets. You think it's white rice by the way we spoke. Shut the blinds and we sleep till noon. That our whole time might be leaving soon. No, it's just way too quiet when you're not in this room. It feels like deja vu. Will I have your love when I need it? Deja vu. From the morning light till the evening. You wouldn't mind it if I stayed up late. Girl, you make it hard to say goodbye like deja vu. I know you feel it. Don't say you're leaving. Don't wake up, let's just keep dreaming. Won't need words to speak your love language for what it's worth. Your time ain't wasted here. Oh no. Looks like you found your soulmate. Showing up, seen it all before. Looks like you found your soulmate. Showing up, seen it all before. It's like deja vu. Will I have your love when I need it? Deja vu. From the morning light till the evening. You wouldn't mind it if I stayed up late. Girl, you make it hard to say goodbye like deja vu.
Yeah. From the Victims and Villains LP, Musiq Soulchild. This mix today is dedicated to Musiq, who is still with us, doing the intros for the song. How does it feel? You swaying like we swaying. How does it feel?
I'm just grateful. I'm just so grateful.
Because you got bangers.
So
like,
grateful.
it's undeniable, sir. You got bangers.
Well, sometimes, we as creators, we have this bully in our brain that try to make us feel like we ain't who we think we are. So when we have moments like these where people give us our flowers, it really helps. So I'm just appreciating this moment right now.
Oh, well, it is so beautiful, like this song.
My lady, all night you make me want you. It drives me crazy. I feel like you were made just for me, babe. Tell me if you feel the same way. Does it just feel so right? I don't wanna waste no time. If I had to choose, I know I'm gonna always choose to be with you. Cause girl, don't you know? Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? I wanna give all my love to you, girl. Not just tonight, but the rest of your life. I wanna be always here by your side. Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? I wanna give all my love to you, girl. Not just tonight, but the rest of your life. I wanna be always here by your side. When you're not here, you don't know how much I miss you. The whole time on my mind is how much I'm going to get to make you feel so good, like you know I'm good. Tell me if you feel the same way, cause it just feels so right. I don't wanna waste no time. Girl, to choose. I know I'm gonna always choose to be with you. Girl, don't you know? Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? Yeah, baby. I wanna give all my love to you, girl. Not just tonight, but the rest of your life. I wanna be always here by your side. Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? I wanna give all my love to you. Not just tonight, but the rest of your life. I wanna be always here by your side.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Musiq Soulchild, the Midday Mix is dedicated to our hometown dude.
Thank you.
Listen, Linda, you're not listening. Okay, you're not listening. Bangers on top of bangers on top of bangers. And I heard a beautiful rendition of this by Robert Glasper, whom I know you've worked with.
Oh yeah, that's the homie. That's the bro. Yeah. Shouts out to Robert Glasper. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm loving watching you sway to your own music after everything that you said, after everything that you've been through.
Well,
that your music still feels you.
Right. Well, see, I don't really listen to to these songs. I know unless I'm performing them, but I don't listen to because I'm always working on the next thing. So it's really cool to listen to it coming at me from another person's setup. It's like I get to be almost like an audience member of my own stuff. So it's really interesting. Yeah.
And hopefully you can get a sense of what we feel when we hear it.
A little bit. I can't fully because I'm in the way, but as much as I possibly can, it hits me like it is right now. So yeah.
Like this, hi, this beat right here, undeniable. For the night, it is the Midday Mix featuring Musiq on WURD.
To get into anything serious right now, but we can chill. You know what I mean?
Well, how about this?
Let's pretend for one night I'm the man in your life, and we do the things that lovers do. All the loving you like, I give it to you just right. There's nothing less than special when it comes to you. See, what we have is an understanding that works so well for how we are. Cause neither of us has the heart to fall in love over again. No, I'm not your man and I'm not you're not my girl, but it's just that it's not that way tonight. Now I know you got your friends and you know I got some too, but it's just that you're my lady tonight. Now what I like about you is that you're always so cool and comfortable whenever I'm around. You're someone that I can talk to no matter what I'm going through. I'm calling you cause I know you'll always be down. See what we have is so incredible that we'll never find in anyone else. This thing that we share is so unbelievable that I want you all to myself. You're not my girl, but it's just that way tonight. Now I know you got your friends and you know I got some too, but it's alright. You're my lady tonight. don't keep ties on each other. But you can have me so that I can hold you until the morning comes. Then we can go back to how things was before you made it. No, you're my girl, but it's just alright. It's back way tonight. I know you got your phrase and sure I got some too, but that's just alright.
For the night, Musiq Soulchild. That's a roller skate classic. I'm sorry. I feel like it's all skate right now. All skate. Couples only.
It's the vibes. It's the vibes. Yeah. We got to keep the vibes going.
Yes. I feel like we should be at Elmwood skate rink right now. I take you back.
Yep.
You know you were the fly kid on the block if you had a birthday party at Elmwood skate rink. I wasn't that fly. I didn't have one. But that's okay. We're here at WURD. It's the Midday Mix. It's the music with a Q. Midday Mix, highlighting and giving flowers to our very own Musiq Soulchild. And this one, you were coupled up with another Philly favorite. Yeah, Miss Carol Riddick, an interlude called Soul Star. Yeah, feel the vibes for sure.
So special, so special.
Let's go.
Last night I had a dream of a beautiful day, and like a song, an angel passed my way. Was the embodiment of perfection, with skin like the sky, and her hair was as long as time. Then she turned to me, with her big proud eyes, her voice flowed like water. And it brought a tear to my eyes, and she said to me, "Star, oh, you come so far from where you started. Don't be afraid to let your light shine on the world. So star, oh, you come so far from where you started."
I hope you are listening to the lyrics of your own song. You've come so far from where you started.
Yeah.
Yeah, let the light shine on the world, sir.
I am.
Light shine on the world. It's WURD, the Midday Mix, dedicated to Musiq Soulchild, who has been so gracious enough to co-host the mix. And I mentioned this a few moments ago. It is just awesome to see you feel your music. Seriously. We have one more song in the mix. We're going to take the folks back. April 2011. Seems like a lifetime ago. Music in the magic. Music in the magic. Let's hear about this one right here. This song is Yes.
Yes.
Yes. The word of the day. Come on, music. Yes, we're WURD.
Let me get this out the way so there ain't no complications later on for us. No, but I know things don't stay the same. People grow and seasons change, but when it comes to love, don't you feel like you ever gotta worry about my feelings changing for you over time? Cause when I say I'm here, girl, I mean it. So when the world and the odds are against us, you won't have to question. The answer is yes. When 2 or 3 years from now, you start having some doubts about if this love will last. The answer is yes. I still think you're beautiful, 'cause I'm more attracted to what's inside of you. You don't have to guess. The answer is yes. 'Cause I love you. All I care about is your happiness. So the answer is yes. People just don't stick around, build you up and let you down. But I'm not one of those. Now I understand that you've been burned. The honesty is what you deserve. Yeah, and so that's what I'm giving you, girl. So when the world and the odds are against us, you won't have to question. The answer is yes. When 2 or 3 years from now, you start having some doubts about if this love will last, the answer is yes. I still think you're beautiful, 'cause I'm more attracted to what's inside of you. You don't have to guess. The answer is yes. If you ask, will I go when you need me most? The answer is no. I'm dedicated to what we had, but will I be here the way that I promised? I'll say with no fear. The answer is yes. When 2 or 3 years from now, you start having some doubts about if this love will last, the answer is yes. And I still think you're beautiful, 'cause I'm more attracted to what's inside of you. You don't have to guess. The answer is yes. When 2 or 3 years.
Oh, man. Welcome back to our Facebook fans. We had to cut the feed for Facebook, copyright things. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, had to cut the feed to Facebook, but the Facebook fans are back, and you are listening to the Midday Music Mix as we give flowers to our hometown guy, Musiq Soulchild. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Listen, just real quick for the folks that missed the beginnings of our conversation, or even our interaction during the mix. How does it feel to get your music served back to you in the way you served it to us?
Man, it's a good feeling. It's confirmation of, doing the work that I know that I did, but sometimes you can find yourself in spaces where it seems like that didn't matter, or that it didn't even happen. So to have this moment right now, to experience this moment right now, it's just a confirmed reminder that I did put in the work. I do have value, and people do appreciate it. So I'm honored and I'm grateful.
Come on now. I want you to always remember that you are loved, and what you put into the world has made so many people feel great. I'm going to put somebody on Front Street now. I'm sorry. Niall was hype that you were going to be on the show. Niall, come on. You gotta come on, because Niall is a fan of Philly guy, and he was hyped that you were going to be on the show. Tell him in your own words, Niall. Tell him in your own words.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's just
hey, what's happening?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. It's just a big pleasure to have you come on the show.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up listening to your music a lot, from your I Just Want to Sing album to I mean to basically all the songs that Tiffany played on her mix, and it's just very exciting to have you on the show just to talk about your journey through this music industry, because you've remained so successful for over 2 decades, so thanks again for just coming on the show, sharing your story, and it's just a pleasure just to have you and to listen to your music, man. So much praise, much thanks, man.
No, I appreciate the support. I could definitely hear the passion in your voice. And I know it's never lost on me, especially when I'm, in the wild, when people like to come up to me and they have a whole lot of energy. I receive that because, like I said, we, and I just ask that for all people to just be a little more understanding and forgiving and move with grace when it comes to us, not only creatives, but us public figures, because it's an extremely challenging road to walk. People they get to be anonymous and they get to live their lives anonymously. You get to pivot around certain things. But when you're a public figure, you don't really get you to yourself, and you have to account for and take accountability for so many things in real time. And that's just not realistic, and it does a lot to you as a person that everyone doesn't have the capacity to deal with. So when I speak on these mental health challenges, it's because we're all dealing with it in our own ways. But it does help to have people let us know. I don't know what you're going through, bro, but I just want to give you yours for like 2 seconds in case nobody ever gave it to you or they didn't today. You're dope, and you have no idea how much just that means to us. It's not to just inflate our ego or to stroke our feelings. It's just, no, sometimes we legit forget. We forget because, at least for the ones that, operate, the way that I do, I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about you. Mm-hmm. So if I'm only thinking about you, who's thinking about me? Yeah. So, sometimes, well, in some cases you have people who have a network of people that pour into them and they remind them. But when you're someone like me who has maybe 5 good people in my entire life that I can depend on, but they're also busy as well. So I can only expect so much from them. Okay. So when I get it from you guys, the ones that I do it for, let me know how much you appreciate, what I do. It means so much. So thank you for making a point to let me know that, bro. I appreciate that.
No, for sure, man. For sure. Appreciate you.
Yeah. And we got to let you go. But Musiq, thank you. We want folks to I don't want you to go, but we're going to make sure that you come back. We're going to make sure that you come back. For folks who want to see Musiq bring his magic back to Philly. Yes. He's going to be performing at, sometimes I got bars, sometimes I got soap. Musiq Soulchild performing at the Dell Music Center this Sunday, June 29th, part of Wild Wild Welcome America's Black Music Month celebration, along with Kindred the Family Soul, Freeway, DJ Active, hosted by our girl, Laia St. Clair. You can go to the Dell Music Center box office for tickets and information. Musiq, before I let you go, I don't know if you've heard, we are encouraging the listening audience to support Black media, support specifically WURD. Can you just give us in a sentence or two why Black media matters to you?
It matters to me because I was only successful truly through Black media, and this is not to take anything away from outside media that may have supported and subscribed to my timeline, and whatever they've contributed, I am eternally grateful. However, if we just keeping it, all the way on it, like if it wasn't for Black media, you wouldn't know who a Musiq Soulchild is, because Musiq Soulchild is a very Black media appropriate artist. Everything that I do, and it's because I can only speak on who and what I am, so I am Black media. So without Black media, I don't think, you wouldn't know what Musiq Soulchild is. And so many of your favorite artists and content creators. So if you are interested in that at all, please support your local Black media, all Black media, because this is the media that supports and promotes and presents you. So thank you for your support.
You're listening to The Week on WURD.
Why is WURD important to the community?
WURD actually literally saved me from mainstream media. WURD is a Black gem. WURD is just unbelievable with the information that I have learned.
When we sit there and we think about how important WURD is, that alone should make us give.
Back in the day when Churchy Woods was on, we had no idea that we needed to support the radio station like we know now.
Listeners, we gotta save it. We gotta save our WURD Radio.
Like, if it wasn't for Black media, you wouldn't know who a Musiq Soulchild is.
Visit WURDradio.com/support. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Week on WURD. Let's stay connected. Sign up for our newsletter and listen to us online at WURDradio.com and on the WURD Radio app.